obviously, being a nanny is very different from being a parent.
Yeah.
And I heard you talk about that when you were bringing up Billy, one of the things, she couldn't quite get her head around what you and Lenny did.
Yeah. It's true. She was asked at school when she was about 7 what her parents did, and she said that her dad was a chef and her mum was a vicar. Which was sort of true, but it made me realise that I hadn't really explained what the jobs were, you know. She just decided she'd visited the sets and that's what she decided.
Because, Rachel, your son Henry has a kind of a similar... There's you and then there's this other woman.
Yeah, he actually has never seen any of my films. He's completely, delightfully, totally uninterested in seeing any of them. Even though now he's 9 and he would be able to see, for instance, The Mummy, but he's just not interested. So he's never seen The Other Woman.
He's going to love The Lobster.
Go upstairs, he's going to dig it. Yeah.
And now, Colin, you've got a son Henry as well.
I have a son Henry as well, yeah.
And now, was it Father's Day when... Who sent you the text? Because he can't have sent you the text.
He's not texting yet with his 6-year-old fingers. I'm sure some 6-year-olds are texting and rapidly. But he is tweeting. No, he's not tweeting. Basically, on Father's Day, they asked... the teachers asked the kids in his class, we're going to come around you all, and any of you who have fathers, that is, and ask you what you want to say to your dads, and then we'll transcribe it. And so they sent home a letter, which spontaneously I happen to have queued up on my phone. And because I was asked to read it, because it's just kind of gorgeous and ridiculous.
So he dictated this to the teacher?
Yeah.
And it says... And how old was he when he wrote this?
He was 4 when he said these words.
OK.
And he said, my dad, he's a lot of fun, and I like him a lot. He has blonde hair... and he's very handsome and wears a good shirt, good pants and good shoes. Oh. We play and I watch a movie with him and my mummy is in it and I am in it in the sky, he says that. That's because I met his mother on a film. But yeah, but the bit about the blonde hair had me a little obviously concerned and I was going to reach out for a home kit paternity test. But... Can you imagine the teacher's reaction when he said that as well? But maybe saw Alexander. No, because he still talks to me.
OK.
That's his favourite guy.
Because Chris are now quite new to the father. What is it, 8 months, you say?
Eight and a half months.
But you, in that very modern way, you announced the birth via Twitter.
Yes. Well, while she was crowning. No. In the subsequent days. Selfie.
But you did post a picture.
We did. And luckily, the baby looked exactly like equidistant between us physically. And we thought that people should see it.
I've got the picture here. There.
She is beautiful.
Now, but this is genius. People are going to steal this idea because you are preparing a treat for Art's future, aren't you?
Oh, God, I've got this great thing going.
This is brilliant.
So I'm playing a long-form joke on him where I live in a quite Latino part of California at the moment. And the park where I walk my dog, I've kind of befriended a bunch of families in the area, and there's a particular family that have a picnic there kind of most days. And I've started bringing the baby there and having him sit with them. And I've taken a picture. And I've taken a bunch of pictures. And the plan is I'm getting them developed, and in the future I'm going to put them behind photo frame, like in photo frames behind other pictures around our house, with the hope that, like, at some stage he'll be, you know, when he's 16, 17, I need a picture frame for something if such a thing still exists. And I'm like, oh, just take one from upstairs, and it will come out, and he'll think he's adopted.
And here's the thing. He will never believe you when you... He'll believe you a bit when you say it's a joke, but not really because it's so bonkers to wait 16 years for a punchline.
No, it was a joke that we were doing.
The joke will be on you when he asks to be returned.
As you watch him spend the rest of his life trying to find his birth parents. But the thing about writing your life is trying to kind of remember it all. There's a bit... You actually lost your own baby.
Yes, briefly. Yes, I did. Aid and I were living in Richmond at the time, and I had 3 children, I imagine.
Oh, so many to keep track of.
Three, hard to keep track of.
Yes.
And one morning, Aid got up and he went and got the girls up, the 2 bigger girls who, you know, toddling around, and he took them down for breakfast, and I was to go and get the baby. And I went upstairs to the baby's room, and the cot was empty. And I thought, that's unusual, isn't it? That. And you start thinking, yeah, baby should be in that cot. It's a bit strange. And so I thought, oh, maybe Aid's picked it up and taken it downstairs for breakfast. So I go downstairs for breakfast. The heart's thumping a little bit. You think, this is odd. And I go downstairs, and Aid's feeding the other 2. No sign of the baby. And at which point I'm thinking, I should ask him, shouldn't I? I should actually ask him. Then I think, no, he'll look at me like people looked at Ingrid Bergman in Gaslight. They'll think, you're mad. You've never had another baby before. You've only got 2 children, you idiot. So I thought, no, I won't ask him. I'll go back upstairs. So I went back upstairs. And I went back up to the baby's room, nothing. And I'm seriously thinking, am I gone mad? Have I actually got a baby? And so I went back down to my bedroom and I sat on the bed, and as I leant down, I felt this little lump. This is awful. Yes, Mumsnet, it's awful. Yes, I know you shouldn't do that. But I was breastfeeding her at night, and she'd kicked herself. I'd fallen asleep, obviously, from tiredness, and she had kicked herself down to the bottom of the bed and was sort of right under the duvet, right down the bottom of the bed. I mean, just fast asleep. Still alive, she's still alive. Suffered no damage.
I've been in the paper saying that you're kind of winding down the performing. Is this a kind of a last chance to see? Do we need to hurry and book and see you?
Yes, I'm entering a monastery tomorrow. And I'm going to be... no, I'm gradually going to wind down because I want to see my boys grow up. Yeah, I mean, what's the point of having children unless you don't spend time with them? So at the moment, I see a lot of them, but I don't see enough of them. So we're getting to the point where in the next few years we'll be winding down, and I want to see them grow up. I mean, I've had so many years on the road, I've had so many concerts, and the most important thing in my life now, or our life, are our children. And, you know, I don't want to leave them behind.
Makes sense. And also, you're great that you have that luxury.
Well, it's not as if I'm in mid-career, you know, I'm the Gracie Fields of rock. No, it's just, they are so beautiful, they're so funny, and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. I would hate to do that. I want to be there for them because it's, by far, you can have any hit record you want, any great tour, any success in the world doesn't compare to 1 second with your kids. Doesn't.
So are you saying, Elton, that you're gearing up for the farewell tour? Is that what's coming here? No, you're gearing down.
I'm gearing down.
But it's not, yeah.
Not yet.
Right.
No. I'm not old enough quite yet.
But when you announce that, then the people, well, the people are flocking to you anyway. But if you said the farewell tour, then everyone...
There will be a time when that will happen, yeah.
Wow.
Are you teaching the little ones how to tickle the ivories?
I'm not teaching them, but Zachary takes piano lessons. Nothing to do with me, that's my eldest. Yeah. It's only because the girl who lives at the house anyway as well, on the grounds, he loves her, and she takes piano lessons, so he wants to take piano lessons. Yeah. So they can do it together. So it's a kind of budding romance thing.
And I think everyone's kind of fascinated by the idea of Elton John being this kind of hands-on dad, and, like, you do the school run when you're at home.
I do the school run, of course I do. And then on Saturdays, our ritual is we go to Pizza Hut in Windsor for lunch, and then David and I take them to Waterstones and we buy them a book, and they get to choose one little thing they can have as a treat, like a Lego thing. We walk around the town, and we come home, they have an ice cream and a balloon, maybe. Yeah, of course. That's what kids love to do. We go to Lapland, we've been to Legoland, we've been to Disneyland. It's what you do with children. That's the fun thing about it, isn't it? When there must be so many parents in. The great thing is just watching them and see their faces. It's like, oh, my God. And you know, you don't get really bothered by other people. You go to Legoland and you find that people are so intent at watching their own kids and they're so proud of them, they don't bother me.
Yeah.
No.
Do you dress down for Legoland?
Of course.
I didn't know. Going through your wardrobe for Legoland. And Jack Black. So Tommy and Sammy. How old are Tommy and Sammy?
Sammy and Tommy are 7 and 9.
Okay, so
I take them to school too. Not to brag, but. You like to go.
We're so normal.
I feel guilty though. I should be taking them to buy a book every time. I always just take them to the frozen yogurt.
But here's the thing. Will you, because 7 and 9, will you be taking them to see your new movie, Goosebumps?
Oh, they have seen. They were the first in the world, as a matter of fact. I pulled some strings, and I got a screening at their school, which was pretty thrilling for them. Yeah.
How cool to have a dad who do that.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But they didn't sit with me. They wanted to sit with their friends over there.
Not the old guy who's in the film. Yeah, we don't want him.
It just goes to show, no matter how cool your dad is, it's still very embarrassing to sit with him.
Emily, Mortimer, in terms of your children encouraged you to get involved in animation, to do voice work, didn't they? Well, didn't you? No, was it your son?
Oh, my son loved Finding Nemo. My son's first word was Nemo, which is a quite bad reflection of me as a parent.
It says there's a lot of sitting in front of a telly.
No, really, because I did actually love Finding Nemo. I think Finding Nemo is one of the best films ever made. But I did work out quite early on that he was sort of hypnotised watching it and that it would be quite good to sort of just shove him in front of it for hours at a time. And so his first word was Nemo. And then about 6 months later, I put Nemo on for the 100,000th time and he said, not Nemo again. Honestly, he must have had someone else say that.
You probably.
Me, probably.
Yeah. On the phone, it's Nemo again.
Oh, my God.
Funny. You may be Thor no more, we don't know. But you talk about your 3 kids. There is a Thor in waiting in your kitchen. Because this is one of your twins, I think.
Yeah, yep.
So your wife sent you this video. So what's he trying to do?
Well, we'd hidden the little lollies for chocolate, which is bribery with kids, which is the only way to get through raising children. Up high, and we thought he'll never get to them. And
Check this. How old is he, by the way?
He was about 3 at the time. He's in nutcase.
So this is a 3-year-old. And you think you leave a 3-year-old alone in your kitchen?
Yeah. Look at his hair too.
Wow. Look at him go. Yeah. Look at him.
He's
And that's a slippery fridge.
Yeah.
Look at him. He likes chocolate. Oh, he can. Very good.
He's a kind of... He's twin boys, and the other one is highly intelligent, smart, manipulative in a good way, but runs like he has a pair of flippers on,
Okay.
His athletic ability it wasn't gifted that way. That one is all physicality, and he's an athlete.
Together, they could rule the world. Now, David Tennant, you will see Chris's 3 children and raise him.
Sure.
What, you're about to go to number 5?
We're about to go to number 5. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
People applauding you. Well done. Great effort. Great effort.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very exciting. It's quite a spread that we have 17 at one end, so there'll be 17 years between them. Yeah.
Wow. But Ty, the 17-year-old, is giving you advice.
Yes, that's the slightly weird bit about having children with that big a gap that at 17 he's going, what, you're having another one? Really? Listen, it's quite odd when you're in the position where your 17-year-old is giving you a lecture on birth control. Very much, I'm sure it's meant to be the other way around.
But also, your daughter, I think your daughter drew a picture of Daddy.
Yes. Yes, my daughter went to nursery school and they said, draw a picture of your parents, and she drew this picture and said, this is my daddy.
This is your daughter's interpretation of Daddy. Presumably social services came round quite soon after this.
It's quite complicated.
She's really captured your eye.
Yes. She has a great eye for scale.
And the sun.
You look very happy about it.
Now, you've got two little boys now.
I do.
And you're trying to get them into Disney?
Into the park?
No, well,
they've been banned, of course. There was that incident when they were 8 and 2. Yeah, the films. Yeah, we're doing the backlog. Yeah, push Pixar to the side for a bit and going back into Lady and the Tramp and 101 Dalmatians and Pinocchio and Jungle Book and all that jazz.
Are they liking them?
Loving it, yeah.
Because, Sharon, in your book, in terms of parenting mistakes, there is a brilliant photograph where you left Ozzy holding the baby. I love that picture. Is that Jack?
Actually, it is. Yes. Yes.
He looks terrified. He's just like, even the baby knows this isn't right.
This isn't right. This is not the way it's meant to be. No. I mean, there were times, children's parties, I'm go into the ladies' room, come out, and I hear all this screaming, and Ozzy had rammed about 15 kids into the garden shed. And he was doing that face through the shed, and that was him entertaining the children. Yeah.
And Jeremy, dad of 3, and it strikes me, are you like a really embarrassing father?
Only when I speak. Or move. Or be in the same room as them. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how awful it would be to wake up and know I was your father?
Because your eldest girl, is she 18 now?
19.
19? So there must be gentleman callers.
There's a gentleman caller. There's a current very strong gentleman caller who is he's from Dublin. So this is like we spent the day with him. So it's like
they love him.
Yeah, no, exactly. She's loved up, so she's very happy.
And are you very happy, or is that weird?
Well, of course it's weird because she was in a pram 8 minutes ago, and now she has a boyfriend. But the thing is I'm supposed to hate him. I mean, I always said you can bring anyone you like home, as long as they don't have a motorcycle. Because if they have a motorcycle, I shall simply set fire to it. And if he goes and buys another one, I shall simply set fire to that. I don't care what they do, but they're not going on motorcycles. That was just the bare bones rule. He doesn't have a motorcycle. He doesn't drive. He hasn't got a clue who I am. He's in a band and he's tremendous. I'm very happy. They're really a sweet couple, so it's great.
But don't you find it works that if that person makes them happy, then you're happy?
Exactly. And she is plainly very happy when he's around. So, that's tremendous news. And the others are just normal kids, which is great. No, I just adore my children, as everybody in the world does.
Right answer. Yeah, it'd be controversial. Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
Because you were relatively old to become a mom, weren't you?
I was 43 when I had my first child, yes.
And weren't there some, not embarrassing incidents, but moments?
Well, yeah, quite a few times I wasn't actually taken to be their mother, but a slightly older relative. And we took my daughter, Eliza, when she was about 6, she hurt her eye, and we took her to A&E with a friend of mine came because we were on holiday. And this junior doctor came in, a young sort of Australian guy, and started explaining everything to my friend. And then he turned to me and he went, "And what does Nan think?" Unsurprisingly, Nan thought he was a
Ruffalo, in your house, your kids are growing up with the Incredible Hulk as a dad.
Right.
Is that a terrible thing or an amazing thing?
Well, it was amazing in the beginning because I could get him to do stuff. I'd be like, go brush your teeth. Your dad's the Hulk. And now I try it and it doesn't work so well.
But you have left them scarred for life.
Yeah, it doesn't play anymore. They're like, yo, big whoop.
Well, because at some point you would have had to have got angry. You'd have had to turn into the Hulk.
I've done that. That doesn't work after a while either. They're like, right. Get green and big, and then we'll talk. We're really sassy. But I love them.
And so you've been an actor all your life. You're married to an actor, Freddie Prinze Jr., you mentioned. And so your kids, are they starting to kind of go, oh, we'd like to do it too?
Luckily, my son has zero interest. I mean, none, but my daughter is sadly, and I say this sadly, starting to really be interested. But we're trying to put the kibosh on it. I'm really trying to convince her to do something else.
Can't get a job at McDonald's, though, can she?
Because,
Claire, your daughter, has she seen your stuff?
No.
Okay.
Well, I haven't really done anything child-friendly.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel.
That's a bit heavy for the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come and watch Mummy at work.
So, Mommy got
Bit heavy coming.
But she must see your picture on TV and stuff.
She has discovered that you can have my face as a person on Netflix.
Oh, for like your avatar?
Oh,
yeah.
Stop it. That's amazing.
And so I didn't know that she'd done this. And I turned on Netflix, like she'd gone to bed and I turned it on. And there's my face, but she called it nincompoop. Like... And I don't think she's ever called anyone a nincompoop, but she spelt it perfectly, and it's just my face.
And does it come up going, are you still watching this nincompoop?
This is what you like to watch.
I was going to say, what did it recommend you watch?
I can't go anywhere near it, but I also can't delete it because I'm quite proud of how she managed to find it and do that.
Yeah. And at night, you have encouraged your daughters to get into the business.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of, not in the kind of acting side necessarily, but one's a musician and one's a film director and film writer. And they both study we did the kind of Asian parent thing where, you know, very into ballet and classical piano. So the older one kind of studied classical piano and concert piano for 11, 12, 13 years, and then started singing and then has gone on tour and all that stuff. And then the other one studied ballet for most of her life, and so
we need to up our game.
Yeah, my daughter can spell nincompoop.
You're done. You can actually. You're done parenting.
There was a company that wanted to do a kind of a reality show about our family. I'm like, this is the most boring show of all time. It'll be like the finale will be like, let's talk about that A-. What happened? What went wrong?
Can I send my daughter to you for a month? Do you want one more? Just I would be so happy with that A-. Can we talk about that?
By the way, I was just thinking, we came sometime, we grew up together, kind of thing, and watching you, I was like, I still feel this way, very uncool, and watching you were like the epitome of cool, like, and when I was watching you, so it's even meeting you backstage, it was like I started to feel like that middle school. A high school kid again. I'm like, oh my God, the cool girl's talking to me.
Oh, that's lovely. Talking about impressing people's families and things, now, Kevin, you brought your kids back to Philadelphia.
Yes.
But not for, like, Kevin Hart Day. You brought them back to where you're from.
Yeah.
Okay. And was it
lesson?
Was it to impress them? Why did you bring them back?
Well, parenting is something that I take pride in. I want to make sure that my kids understand the value of hard work and what the meaning behind it should be. So, I don't want you thinking that what we have and our lifestyle is how it's supposed to be, because it's not.
Yeah.
There's a reality behind it. So I want to take you to where Dad is from. So we take a trip. We take a real trip to Philadelphia, and we land, and I said, I'm gonna show you where I grew up, so you can understand.
You land in your private jet.
Well, we did
Life lesson.
Listen, every lesson has a moment of disbelief. Just follow me for a second.
I'm with you.
The lesson didn't start till we got off the plane.
Obvious.
We got in the car and started driving through the neighborhood where I was from.
Then that's where the lesson
started. Where are you from? So we pull up to my place, and I give this long speech. It's like a moment. It's like 7 a.m. I got there when nobody would be there, and I'm like, look, I didn't have, okay?
Yeah.
Look, this is the grass. See this little thing? It's all the grass we had. I had to sit on the step. I waited for the bus here. I walked 2.5 miles to get from here to where I had to go to meet my mom.
Yeah.
This was not a situation that you were comfortable in. And I get done, and my kids are like, we want to live here! No. This place is a piece of I'm trying to show you what we have is nice. You just gotta work for it. We don't want to go home. I was like, let us go upstairs. course. I literally had to stop the lesson. I the trip to Philadelphia short. I was like, let's just go back home. I'm gonna show you books from now on. No more live events.
Chris, I know you've said before how your daughter isn't impressed that you're Thor. It's not a big deal in her world.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids and 2 twin boys and my young daughter, and she thinks it's okay. She's just not as impressed as I'd like her to be.
But then you did try quite hard to impress her. Was it at a school sports day?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, she had this athletics carnival and she was quite nervous, and I said, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just about having fun, and winning's not important. And then she went in the 100-metre sprint or whatever, and she came second, and she was, you know, a bit bummed. And I said, don't worry, you know, it's about having fun and so on. And then they said, all right, the dad's race. And I was like, what? The dad's race? Everyone starts lining up, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm not ready for this. I haven't sprinted in a long time. And all of a sudden became incredibly nervous, and I'm looking at my daughter, and she's like, you've got to win, Dad. And I'm like, it's not important. and I took off and won the race.
Of course you did!
And, which I was beyond happy about. I looked over at my daughter, and she's like, you know, do you see me win? She's like, when? Where's the race happen? I had no idea. So she was still not impressed, yeah.
I just imagine being one of the other fathers and Thor is in oh, what's the point?
I had that feeling actually when we were filming, and I was standing right behind you, and we finished a scene. We had to get it kind of out of the suits, you know. And I've been working out really hard. I'd been eating great for years. And I'm standing behind you. It's like, what is the point? I mean,
no, come on.
I mean, no, but like, we're essentially comprised of similar materials, right? I mean, we both have ribs and organs
and bits and pieces.
And then there's this.
Yeah.
And there's Ant-Man.
And of course, now I suppose there'll be a whole new generation of kids who fall in love with this Mary Poppins. And so, Emily, your kids, how are they with it?
Well, I think, I mean, my youngest, my 2-year-old, has a sort of attention span of a fly, so she watches the trailer, but Hazel, who's almost 5, has seen it and just absolutely loved it and sort of wants to talk about it all the time now. And yeah, it's just really weird.
If you're 5, your mother's Mary Poppins.
No, but I don't think I think she just thinks it's normal. She's like, well, this is what Sonny's mummy does, and this is what my mummy does. You know, it's just sort of like quite conversational for her.
Is it going to help or hinder discipline at home?
Oh, hinder?
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because she already knows I can't fly. She's like, well, she's fake. but she did ask me to do the voice the other day, just out of nowhere, because she was quite sort of impassive watching the film, just sort of didn't reveal much of what she felt. And then the other day she goes, she's American, of course, sounds American, but she goes, do your Mary Poppins voice. And I go, spit spot, and off we go. And she goes, oh. And it was just so sweet. And they quite like impersonating me in the bathtub, where I say to the dolphin, no, not yet. And now the 2 of them go, no, not yet. Like,
Is it your eldest son? He was on set.
Yeah, he was on set. I brought him for every musical number. So he has a very skewed view of what his dad does for a living. He sees Big Ben and goes, Daddy climbs that for work. But it was magical because he was 2 turning 3 when we were making this movie, and they're very formative sort of memories for him.
And also the physical sets. It wasn't all CGI or anything.
Oh, it was nearly all physical sets.
Yeah, he was on Cherry Tree Lane. He was, you know,
on
the Big Ben
the big Triple Little Light Fantastic.
Yeah, our kids sort of explored all that together. That was really magical.
But you already must have been quite a cool dad because of your Disney associations.
Yeah, I was a Moana dad for a while.
Yeah, you wrote the music for Moana.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's got to get you brownie points at home.
It does, and that was his first movie, so it was a lot of you're welcome around the house. And, you know, I mean, that's the kind of song you can only write for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because only he could get away with it, and you're like, what a charming man.
I know in lockdown, your daughters have become sort of gourmet chefs.
Yes, they prepared some dinners for us. My husband's a good cook, but he got a break from them a couple times. We did some themed dinners.
since we're all about to lock down again, I recommend these. We did like a Victorian night dinner. We did a Mexican fiesta, and we did the best one though was they did an airline dinner for us, where they set up all the chairs. It was a dream actually, because they set all the chairs like fit one behind the other, no one facing anyone else, and they brought us like warmed nuts on a tray, and they didn't. Children don't understand how much wine is too much wine to pour.
I'm an adult.
The glass of wine was like filled to surface tension.
You've sent some pictures of this evening. I mean, they really went all out. Everyone had a window seat.
Yeah, everyone got a window seat. We put a picture of an airplane window on the TV. They made stewardess costumes for themselves.
Oh, let's see the stewardess costumes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
And that's too much wine.
And then, is this the same evening where they put the reading materials in the back of the...
Yeah, they put magazines. They shoved magazines in the back of the chair. We put headphones on like a plane, and we ate in silence, and it was the best night we had in like 7 weeks.
I think everyone's going to be doing this. It's the way forward. It's the way forward.
Is it true, your daughter Annalise, when she came to set, that she was kind of confused?
Yeah, because my daughter, she comes to all my sets, but she had never been on a set where actually kids could go see the movie. Because she was on the set of Django, and so she was 4 years old. I know that's probably bad parenting, but she's watching people get blown away, and she's seeing them make up the blood. And oh, Daddy's great. So when she was on Annie, she didn't understand. It was like, she was like, when does Annie get the gun and go kill the people that took her parents? No, that's a whole different movie right there.
That would be a great update.
Annie's Revenge. The sun won't come out tomorrow.
And listen, talking of child stars, I must have known this but forgot it, that Usher, you were so young. Like, when you won Star Search, were you 12?
Wow. Yeah, I was 12.
And that was the beginning of everything.
That was the beginning, yeah. The type of shows that are now very, very popular, yeah.
But your first album, you were only 14.
I was 14, my first album,
And the first song was The Mac.
Yeah, the first song was off the Poetic Justice soundtrack, The Mac. But I want to thank you guys for this movie, because it has become like the soundtrack of my house. Wow. My son, Naveed, he just auditioned yesterday, and he sang an Annie song. Wow. Yeah, so I take the boys to New York, and we go and see plays, but he actually made his way to this, and you know, he's a boy, but the key of the songs are much more accommodating for him, and he wants to be a singer. So I just want to thank y'all, because y'all helping him make that connection.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice little thing. Yeah. And you seem to have mellowed. Like, we don't hear stories about, like, the Tiffany boxes being sent anymore.
No, you know, you just get past all of that.
Can I just ask, did they have poo in them?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, they did.
My God.
Yes.
And I have to say, I was, because these were things, if Sharon didn't like you, then you would get a Tiffany box. And of course, you'd have to open a Tiffany, even if it stank, you'd have to open a Tiffany box.
You have to open a Tiffany box. You do that white satin ribbon, you open it up, and there's one of Jack's turds. It was brilliant. And Jack used to say to me, Mummy, why do you make me poo in the box? And I'm just like, behave, Jack, keep
The homespun wisdom.
yes.
Was Teddy born here?
Yes, she was born here, yeah.
Were you actually at the Hello Teddy moment? Were you there for the birth?
Yes, I was.
Were you down the business end?
Yeah, I was.
Well done,
It was like my favourite pub burning down.
Very little tread left on that tyre.
Have you rebuilt her?
We haven't bothered rebuilding it yet, because there might be another one on the way.
Yeah.
Don't want to go about it twice.
Yes. I think it's best to live with the ruins for now.
Yeah.
This feels like overhearing something at a doctor's surgery.
We'll just live with that, shall we? We'll just live with it.
Charles, can I just have which camera? Sorry, Ida.
Sorry too,
You have
actually.
beautiful food.
Yeah. It's funny. Robbie did the radio last Saturday and he was going, I say things I shouldn't on chat shows. And I was going, no, you'll be fine. Hugh Jackman, you've worked with the Wasp, Evangeline Lilly.
Yes, Evangeline Lilly on Real Steel in 2010. That's right. And I never forget, actually, we had a kiss in the movie, and it was the first time at the premiere, as the scene was playing, I realised my son was there, who was 10, and I was like, oh, he's never seen me kiss anyone other than his mum. And I looked, as we're going for the kiss, I looked at him, he was like... and I looked over and he looked at me and he goes, you're in so much trouble.